So I thought what might be interesting is to finish. I've got some main themes for what people might set as their like areas that they might want to improve in. And I thought maybe we could try and give a tip or a small behavior that might help get them where they could start. Maybe. Let's see. Let's see if it works. So we've talked a lot about health and fitness. So if somebody was saying had the goal of wanting to lose weight, right? What would you suggest? What tiny habit, if it was you, say you woke up and you were like today, and you're like, right, this time next year I want to lose weight. What would be your key tip?
Well,
What
my
little
first key tip would be stop buying biscuits. That was my first action was literally stop buying the chocolate, and then you won't eat the chocolate. You know, buy fruit. Like, you know, I was very hard pressed to eat fruit, especially in the winter. It was like, it's too cold. This was my mindset. It's too cold to eat fruit because it's winter. And I was just eating chocolate. I was eating sweets. Then I just stopped buying the chocolate, stopped buying the sweets, and bought fruit instead. And then, like, when you get hungry, you're forced. Like, the way I see it, and what I've heard before, if you're hungry enough for an apple, that means you're hungry. But if you're not hungry enough for an apple, that's false hunger. And once you don't have the sweet, like, we literally have a cupboard full of sweets, and we're sitting there going, full from the dinner, going, what chocolate will I have now? And literally you run to the press for those sweets. So my first tip would be change what you're buying, because that's about changing your environment as well. Change what you're buying, buy healthier options, and stop buying the sweets. That would be the first step.
So a good way is to like also make sure you're not hungry when you go shopping. I know it sounds like a silly thing, but it really does make the difference. You're hungry, you make bad choices. Not always.
Well, so for me, I think a list. I'm very, 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 I make a list every week of what stuff I have to buy. This helps me as well to buy the things that I need rather than, you know, running around the shop buying all the shiny stuff. Like,
yeah, and like, to be honest, I think mine would be have protein in the morning, because otherwise you start on the carb train, and some people might be less affected by it than me, but like if I eat bread in the morning, I get cravings for sugar and for more bread. It just you know, it like I say, it starts a carb train. And it's, I suppose, like if you have sort of like wholemeal bread or whatever, it might not be so bad. But for me, like having eggs in the morning really made it so much easier for me to not eat bad stuff. And it's that thing, isn't it, again, that we were saying about, it's about your morning routine. It's about how you set the stage for the day.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, I don't buy bread anymore. I'll make some bread at some stages, you know, I make flatbread for my dinner or something like that. And I used to make, you know, loaves of bread, but I stopped doing that as well because I have an addiction to bread. You know, if there's bread there, I could buy a sliced pan and I would eat the whole thing in one day. That's the way I was. If it's out of sight, it's out of mind for me. So I don't buy the thing if I've got an addiction to it.
Excellent. Right. So what about fitness?
Start small, you know, and like that's what I said. As I said, I started doing it. I turn on the kettle, I do a few squats, a few toe touches, you know, those arm circles and stuff like that. I literally did enough within the space of time the kettle boiled, and that was me starting off. So just tiny little things, a few squats, and you build up in them. So maybe do 20 squats starting off, and then you can build up to eventually doing 60, 100 squats. And it's the same with anything else. Like I was telling you earlier, like I had 1 kg dumbbells, and I was doing 180 of them every morning. I'm only after buying my 2 kg ones, and ow, they're kind of heavy. So I'm down to doing only 90 of them now. You know, so I'm half. You know, I'm starting small again, but with a bigger weight. So it's literally just starting in small doses, and you build up from there. And like it does get easier, and it does get enjoyable.
Yeah. And I would say, trying to. What I think music's a great thing. I used to put, so I've go through various stages of doing different type of exercises before I started doing karate. One of the things I used to do was hooping, but it wasn't like an actual hoop like you have at primary school. It's one that's clamped around you, so you didn't have to keep picking it up. Otherwise, that would be me picking it up all the time. I'm not very good at it. But it clamps around your waist, and then you have a weight that spins around, which is a really great exercise. It really is. And it was so hard at the beginning, but I would just aim to try and get to the end of one song. and then I built up to 2 songs, and then I used to do 8 songs. Yeah, so music is a great way, so you're not constantly looking at the clock. Choose a song that you really love that's got a great beat, and just do one song. You know, exercise for one song and see how you feel. Yeah. So, what about personal development? So, if you wanted to develop yourself, what would be something? Where would you start if you wanted to do some? I know you do a lot of personal development stuff anyway.
Yeah.
But there's somebody who's new to it. What would be the first place to start? Do you think?
For me personally, what I used to do, meditation is brilliant, and sleep meditation. So when I first started trying to meditate, my mind was all over the place. I couldn't actually relax, and I just, and to me, that would be something that would make me give up. Because a lot of people say I can't meditate, I can't find my mind. So I discovered sleep meditation that reprograms your subconscious mind. So literally, you go to sleep, you press play on your phone, and this is stuff that actually helps rewire your brain while you're actually asleep. And this in turn then will help you internally heal, so that eventually you'll be able to do mindful meditation in a sense. So yeah, a very big tip would be try sleep meditation, because that stuff really helps in rewiring your brain.
Excellent. Yeah, mine would be meditation. That's what changed everything around for me.
It's life changing. It does transform your life. It really does.
In a very short amount of time.
Yes.
My advice would be use binaural beats, because binaural beats make it much easier to get into a meditative state. Than I've tried other ones before, and I've needed it to be heavily guided to keep me from falling into my thoughts. Binaural beats make it easy. It's meditation for beginners.
Yeah.
For sure. Or not beginners, because I'm not a beginner now and I still love it, but yeah, very much so. Yeah. And the gateway meditations are a good place to start, I would say. They're very long though. They're very long. So if you've got, you'd have to have quite a lot of time to give to that. It's like 40 minutes, aren't they? But they work using sound technology, including binaural beats. So you can find shorter binaural beat ones if you want to start just like 10 minutes or whatever. There's a great app as well by the Monroe Institute, and they have all sorts of different ones using that same technology as the gateway one. So I highly recommend that. It's called Expand, and you can get it on any of the app stores, I think. Right. Career. If somebody wanted to change their career or improve their career, what tips could we get? What small behavior could change? What would you do?
Well, look for courses. There's so many free trainings, webinars, and courses online. So look out for courses, or as I said, even if you haven't got the time to do a full course yet, look out for free 1 hour webinars towards the goal that you want to pursue, or the purpose that you want to pursue. And taking even time, that's what I did when I started coaching. Was before I was ready. There was a lot of fear around becoming a coach. Before I even did any courses, it kind of freaked me out a little bit. But I did these 1 hour webinars, and I was like, ooh, this is actually enjoyable. And then the next time I did another 1 hour webinar. So just ease myself into learning about my future goal or career before I actually did it. And it really gives you that motivation to then look for that longer course, or that certification course then. Because that's what I did. I started small, and then I did the big course, and I got certified.
Yeah, brilliant. I would also suggest webinars and that kind of thing, like free courses, or YouTube. You can find reputable sources on YouTube. Like, I'm not saying just watch any old crap on YouTube, but that you can find reputable where you can get information that you can rely on. And I would say to make notes, because if you were taking, say you were on a paid course you paid for, and you would probably make notes. You'd want to make the most of it. And I found when I first started doing my coaching practice for the certificate, because I didn't pay for it, the first course that I did, because I didn't pay for it, I just wasn't really making notes, wasn't really taking it seriously. And I think it's important to writing is such a great way to get
Mm.
information in your head and make it stick. And you might really understand it. You might think, oh, wow, yeah, this is great. But if you've not made notes, if you've not done things to stick that into your brain, you'll lose lots of it. So yeah, I would.
That's it. Like, you know, watching live events like Tony Robbins, Steve Graziosi, they're the first things that I actually did to get me started. And I was writing notes that out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's stuck for me. I love to watch the replays where I can actually pause and write notes. You know what I mean? Gets gets it into me, my brain quicker, or sticks for me a lot better. But yeah, writing notes, taking down those notes, letting it, you know, feeding yourself this information. We have the world knowledge at our fingertips. You can change your life with your phone. Instead of scrolling on social media every day, look for that course. Look for that healing. You know, it's all there, that meditation, that stuff. It's all there, and it's all there for free.
Yeah. I know. It can be a testing time with all this technology. You know, it's like bringing up children at the moment. It's so difficult because there's so many distractions, but it's also such a powerful resource that it's almost like from when I was at high school, it's completely unimaginable to have such amazing.
We used to have to go to the library or collect the encyclopedia or something, you know, or go downstairs and ask your dad, like, you know, what does this mean? Where's the dictionary? You know, this kind of stuff. Whereas literally, we have everything we need right there at our fingertips. I'm all like a lot of people, and I used to do it myself. You just scroll all day, and literally your brain literally dies from staring at social media mindlessly. It dies. But we have the power to feed it.
I love ChatGPT as well. So I'm not saying get all your information from ChatGPT, but it's a really great place to start. So like if you are somebody who doesn't really want to watch lots of webinars, you quite like reading, but you just don't know which direction you want to go in, have a conversation with ChatGPT. They'll give you lots of possible, if I say, all right, I like this and I like this and I like this, I want to have a career change. Currently, I'm doing this. I've got these qualifications. I want to earn this kind of amount of money. It will suggest some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're like, I want to be a coach, where do I start? Can you give me a reading list? It will give you, the best books to order and read. So have a conversation with ChatGPT as well, I would say, because it can be I don't think it's a good resource completely on its own, but I think it's a really great starting point. I think it's a great starting point for lots of things. I really like ChatGPT. What about relationships?
Sorry.
Sorry. So say that's quite an open one, isn't it?
Yeah, for me personally at the moment, like I've had to walk away from a lot of the relationships. So, you know, my advice would be in that concept, if a relationship or a family dynamic isn't working for you, then you have every right to walk away. You know, don't lose yourself to these relationships. And in walking away from these things, you can better pursue your goals. Like if I hadn't walked away from certain family members or friends, I wouldn't have been able to stick to my own mindset to get to where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes we have to let go of certain relationships in order to pursue our goals and our dreams.
Yeah. And I would say that if you're wanting to improve relationships or communication or get a new relationship or anything to do with relationships, is that put the, I know it sounds the opposite, but I put your attention on yourself. So like
improve your relationship with yourself first. Yeah definitely.
So it's about, so say you're looking for a certain, say you've been dating and you just can't find the right person that fits your criteria, then embody the person that fits the criteria. You know,
that's it. I stopped dating
that
because
person,
and
then you'll attract that kind of person.
I stopped dating because I was attracting the wrong people. So I started to improve the relationship with myself, improve my self-love. And now I'm attracting healthier friendships into my life. I'm still single, but I'm attracting healthier friendships. And I know I'll attract healthy love into my life when that time comes as well. But yeah, it's okay to be on your own and improve your relationship with yourself. You don't need to be in a romantic relationship. You know, like society says, you have to have this done by this time. Being single and improving your own relationship with yourself is actually the most important thing you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. What about finances?
The thing is, you embody. It's about embodying again. Like, you know, I had a very difficult relationship with money. I had money blocks, I had poverty consciousness. And, I lived in a very lack mentality. And I used to say I lived very simply. And I was like, it's because I'm not materialistic. And it turns out I was actually living below my means because I didn't believe I actually deserved or could live in a higher consciousness. But I just changed my mindset. And that's it. You have to, it is about working on those blocks that you do have. But imagine that you do deserve it. You do deserve nice things. It doesn't mean you're vain, or it doesn't mean that you are materialistic. You deserve to have nice things. And it was all, for me personally, was changing my perspective or changing my priorities. Whereas before I spent all my money on drink or cigarettes, now I spend it on things that are nice for my house or for my health. So and you can manifest in big money when you literally start to, and it's about your relationship with yourself again. When you believe that you're worthy of this stuff, you can manifest in that higher vibrational abundance as well.
Yeah. For me, my advice would be, I'm quite thrifty with money, would be to not compare yourself to other people. I think a lot of choices financially that a lot of people make is trying to live up to other people's standards.
Yeah.
If your finances are not in a good place, it's okay to not go out for those meals and whatever. I'm not saying don't treat yourself. Maybe you have got the money for that. I don't know a lot about finances, but if you have got quite a bit to spare, I understand that investing is the right thing to do, and not let it stand in just sit in a bank in a bank account. But finances is something that I need to improve on, I think. I don't buy lots of needless stuff, but karate costs a fortune. And so all my free spare resources is going into karate at the moment. So
kids as well, like it's expensive to have children.
It is very expensive to have children, especially at Christmas, when one of your children's birthday is also Christmas Eve. It's been an expensive time, but it's fine. Money flows out and it will flow back in again.
It's energy. Money is energy, and it's how we perceive money. We have perceived money to be negative. Growing up in poverty consciousness, we were told it was greedy, or it was wrong to have money, or it's bad people that had money, and you have to work hard and all this kind of stuff. But we all deserve to have luxury, and not to be over luxurious. Like, don't get me wrong, spending $100 on a watch is just bullshit. Like, this kind of stuff. We can do so much more with our money. It's about spending wisely, but we understanding that we deserve to have nice things without being materialistic as well.
Yeah.
And we deserve to treat ourselves. Like I never treat myself ever. I just my priorities, my mindset around money was so different. As I said, I spent it on cigarettes or drink, and now I'm buying myself nice things, and it's just like, this is my celebration. This is my treat, is buying myself nice things, and that's
part of embodying who you're becoming as well, isn't it? Like,
it really is.
A nice home.
Yeah, exactly. Because I have a dog blanket on the couch for the girls, and like my older dog, God rest her, she used to chew on everything, and there was holes in the blanket, and I just felt like, oh sure, it's a dog blanket, it can have holes in it. And now I have this lovely, fluffy dog blanket, and obviously I wish I had my dog, and if there was holes in it, I'd be okay with that. But what I'm saying is, like, I have nicer furnishings. Even just buying new placemats the other day, and just nicer curtains or nicer slippers. Just these kind of things. Like, I got a big, massive dressing gown for myself. These kind of lovely things that I'm buying for myself now, instead of spending my money on chai drink, on sweets and on drink and on bags. I'm just buying pretty stuff. So I'm actually upgrading my life rather than buying, having my priorities on, worthless things or useless things.
Yeah. I do need to be better at treating myself, to be honest. All my money goes on my kids and karate, but that's something to work on. Maybe I need to embody the person who treats themselves with and not with cake. Hobbies and creativity. So what would you suggest for hobbies and creativity?
do anything that sets your soul on fire. Do you know, like music is one of my favorites. You know, I was DJing there for a while, just DJing for friends' parties and stuff like that. I love creating playlists and stuff. I just, music and dancing, that just brings me to life, and it brings the inner child out as well. Creativity, drawing, you know, I love drawing quotes or drawing things on my walls and stuff like that. Watching cartoons, I love watching cartoons. That's a really good way to nurture your inner child. And just living with that childlike wonder. And you know, even going out in nature for a walk, the benefits of being around trees or near the sea or in the sea is just any kinds of things like this. Because you know, this stuff, you know, it might seem like a hobby, but it's actually really good for your soul, and it's really good for your health as well.
Yeah, yeah. I would say, well, I said this to my son actually, 18 minutes a day for a year, apparently, scientifically, will make you, if you practice a skill, for 18 minutes a day for a year, you'll be better than 95% of people. So, and that I'm giving that message because it's not going to be perfect, you know? Like if you're just learning to draw or you're just learning an instrument, you're just learning to play guitar, it's probably going to sound bloody awful at the beginning. And it's just enjoy holding that guitar and even not what it sounds like, it's like what where are you going with it, or
if it makes you feel good.
Yeah, try and get into flow, try not to think too much about it.
But that's it. Like when I started drawing again, like I gave up drawing as a kid because I wasn't good enough. But like, you know, when I started drawing again, I was so like every time I do anything, it's like, oh, that's crap. You know, I want to do that. But I kept going, I kept trying, and now I'm better. I was tracing, now I can do freehand because I just didn't give up, and because I enjoyed it. It was making me feel joy, and if it makes you feel joy, it means you should do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just think people don't unless I don't think people do enough creativity. I think it should be, you know, part
That's
of
it. We're told to grow up too quickly, and this is what represses our inner child as well, and this is why we have wounding.
Young as well. We hardly do any in school. It's so sad because
we're told we have to grow up and get a job and do this and that. It's like literally grow up when you're a child. Like we go into secondary school in Ireland at 12 years of age. We're told, especially for us women, we're literally a child, and then the next morning we have to be a woman, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, at least I think in England you do it differently. You do it in better stages, like that. We're not actually thrown into the adult world that quickly over there. But like, it's just, you know, live with childlike wonder and bring out that creative side, bring out your inner child again, because this is what life is all about. We're supposed to live in joy, not in stress.
Yeah. Mental health, I would say gratitude. Start with gratitude.
It definitely is. It's the best thing we can ever do. Being grateful for those little things will bring in so much more into your life. It really will.
Yeah. And the last one is organization and productivity. So like if you wanted to declutter or be more organized or improve time management, I would say a habit tracker for me is like, if you don't use something like a habit tracker, you'll be surprised. I know it sounds ridiculous that you're writing it down in a grid and ticking it off as you do it, but it really does.
It is fun to tick things off. It really is.
Yeah. And it's also, once again, it's like with decluttering or whatever, it's not expecting, it's not looking at the end goal. It's about doing a little bit daily, and it will add up, and you'll be surprised. Like at first it'll feel like nothing's happening, but then after a few weeks you'll start to notice the difference. So it's pushing through with whatever you decide to do, whether it's about health and fitness, personal development, career, relationships. It's like pushing through, knowing that these little steps that you're making daily are going to build up to big things by the end of the year.
And that's
be reflective.
Yeah, and that's the thing with decluttering. When we have a cluttered space, it actually reflects to a cluttered mind.
Yeah.
So if we declutter our space, we effectively declutter our mind as well. So both actually, you know, are beneficial as well. And remember as well, if you're upgrading on new things, which I've started to learn to do, is if you're buying something new, throw away the old thing. Don't put it in cover.
One out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it definitely do that. My house is full to the gunnels. Yeah. Right, that's all of it, I think. We didn't actually, I forgot. We always start with a quote, but I never started with the quote. So I'll tell you
Oh
what the
yeah,
quote was.
do them now because they're lovely quotes actually.
So the first one was, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. I actually love that it came last, actually. I think it's really nice. It's by someone called Lao, I can't even say his name, Laotzu. He was a philosopher from ancient China. And the other one is, your intention creates your reality. So set some intentions and create a new reality for you for 2025.
Exactly. And that's it. It all starts with one baby step. And like what I suggest as well, baby steps can be scary. So even break your baby step into milli steps and take tiny little steps to take that full step, and it actually makes things a lot easier.
Yeah. It's like, don't be afraid to make it stupidly small.
Yeah, exactly. Because it does make it so much easier, and like it might be slow, but you're still moving forward.
Yeah.
Improve yourself by 1% every single day, and you can move yourself forward by massive amounts in a year.
Yeah. And buy this book and read it. It'll really help.
Yes. Atomic Habits, yes. Brilliant.